Hi, welcome back to my channel where I am producing my production journey with Ableton and the Ableton Move controller. Today's video, I'm going to be doing what I'm now just calling an Ableton Freestyle, where I'm letting the Move controller pick four random instruments and then I'm going to try to make house music out of it. If you have seen some of my previous videos, you know that don't always make house music here. Um, Basically because whatever instruments I'm given, it's not always possible to make something that sounds like traditional house, but that's the fun of it. I like that Ableton Move kind of pulls you into a different thinking process to try to take the instruments that it gives you and then try to make that your own sound or make it fit with your type of sound that you're going for. So yeah, I try to keep these videos under an hour or just a little bit over an hour. If you are producing yourself, you know that production can go way longer than that with getting the foundation down. But I found that just going for an hour gets you or gets me something somewhat decent sounding. And it's just good practice. So I figured why not just record it and upload it and share it. So this would not be one of those videos where I am showing you how to use the Ableton Move. If you are interested in those type of videos, I'll leave some links in the description where you can go to other channels that I found very useful when I was first getting started with this, and still getting comfortable with it. There's still so many things I haven't explored with this controller yet. They keep sending out different updates, and I haven't even had the chance to really sit down and explore this thing in depth. Of course, as I'm producing music, I'm learning new things about it here and there, but I'm taking my time, taking it slow. There's no rush. Uh, yeah, this is just fun. And um, yeah, so that's the basis of this video. My other videos are I'm talking about the background of tracks that I'm producing and releasing on SoundCloud. The links to my socials and SoundCloud will also be in the description if you're interested in checking out any of those tracks. And at the end of the video, I'll also have a pop-up for YouTube to kind of point you to the direction of some of my other videos. Or you can just subscribe to the channel and look through the playlist that I have. Um, but yeah, let's get started. So basically, what I'm going to do, all of these pads that are grayed out are empty sets. So when I click on a gray pad, I'm going to go into a new set, and Ableton Move is going to assign me four random instruments. There is some logic behind it. The first instrument will normally be some type of drum rack. So think of like a 909 kit, 808 kit, something like that, if you're familiar with those. Uh, the second track will typically be something that you build a bass line with. The third track is typically some type of synth. Actually, the last two tracks will be some type of synth in different forms. So one might be a pluck, the other might be a stab, or a lead or something like that. So let's see what we get. I'll just select this gray pad here, and you can see it even tells you empty set. So I just do this so people know that I'm actually picking a empty set and I'm getting these four random instruments because, I could pick on one of the colored tracks and then those will be instruments that I'm already familiar with. So yeah, just do this to kind of be transparent. So empty set here. And now when I go into the actual session, we can start clicking through the different instruments. So if we go into the first one, Fixation Kit. I haven't used this one yet. So let's, again, if you're new here, I normally start these videos just by previewing all of the sounds. So let's go ahead and see what we have inside of this kit. Very, very fat kick. So that's going to be interesting. Um, some type of rim, I think. Yep. 808 rim DMX. Interesting. Very loud snare. Clap. Okay. Another snare. Tom grounded. Okay, this is definitely giving 808 kit. This is supposed to be like strong. Okay, we got a closed hi-hat. A tom, a deep tom. It's interesting. Closed hi-hat. Another tom with a delay on it. Open hi-hat. Tom and delay. Perk. Ooh, I like that. Synth vibration. Yeah, so some of these drum kits actually come with some type of synth, uh, short synth stab or short synth sample, which can be really handy. You can actually free up a whole track just by having this. On this side of the controller, if you're not familiar with the Move, these are different pitches of this sample. So over here, if I just and you can do that with all of the different pads that you have here. So if I go to this next pad, this is some type of crash or a ride, and you can. So you get 16 pitches of that sample, which is really nice, and you can get really creative with that. And this is just a shaker, I assume. Yeah, shaker RTD, RKTD. Um, so yeah, that one's going to be interesting. The kick is a little strong, so I'm going to try to see what I can do with that so that it's not too overpowering for a house track. Let's move on to the second one. Sub Mellow. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so far, when I've been using this controller, these baseline kits typically have some extra resonance or looking for the right word, and it's losing me at the moment, but they have like some extra character to them. This is more just kind of super low end for the most part, which is actually really good for a house track, to be honest. Um, So seems good so far. Let's move on to this third track, the blue one here, if you can see the color. X square keys. Okay, that would be fun. So that's X square keys. And then dobro. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Dobro. Dobro. Let's see what this sounds like. Maybe you know what melody was going what melody was going through my head when I was just playing with this, but it reminded me of a song. Dun, 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 dun. I can't think of the name. If I think of it, I'll just put the text somewhere here to kind of think of it. Okay, cool. Interesting sounds we have here. I guess I'll jump right into it. I always start with my drums, so I pretty much will just go down the row trying to build an house track. Let's see if we can make something. Uh, yeah. So just a fair warning, if you have not seen my other videos where I do stuff like this, sometimes the loop can get a little repetitive, which is how all of my production kind of starts. Um, if I didn't already mention it, I'm at the not very beginning, but I'm just now producing music since August 2025, so not even a year yet. And so I'm not always moving so quickly through all of this, but yeah, sometimes the loop can get a little repetitive, and I try to talk in between just so that your ears don't get blown off with the same thing or you don't get super annoyed. So let's see. I'll first start with the tempo. I think 125. I'm normally producing in the 130 range, but these kicks are kind of strong. I'm feeling 124. Let's do 124 for this house track and let's see where we get. I'm liking something. I was trying to make something a bit more mellow today. Let's see. Um, right. Mm. Okay, just basically try to take this kick and turn it into something a bit more pleasant for house music. So I'm just using these dials up here to shape things a bit. And I think it sounds a lot better because the kick was very fat and very overpowering for me. Um, but I think it sounds, yeah, I like the sound of the kick so far. I'll probably change it up a little bit, but let's keep going. It's a lot of reverb. Weird clap, but yeah, for some reason I like it, and just gonna go with that weird clap with this 8-bit playback effect on it. Okay. Mhm. Okay, so you could, very standard house setup that I'm going for at the moment. I feel like that's always easiest to kind of get me into the flow of it, but I might change it a little later on. Just kick, clap, hi-hat, just to kind of get things going. Uh, and I always nudge them over just a little bit because to add a little bit of groove, um, you can add swing on the move through this, but the documentation, or from what I was reading, I think through ChatGPT or something, but if you apply this groove, it applies it to the whole set, which I don't think is good. I think it starts to move everything a bit off of the grid, which you don't want to do for your kicks and probably not for your claps, but for everything else. So I just manually nudge all of these tracks a bit. You can see it moving up here on and off. If you can picture a grid, the notes are just moving slightly to the right if I'm using this arrow over here. So let's see how it sounds. It's probably loud. what I learned recently, you can actually do some of the mixing here now. I don't know if that was a update that just happened recently, but if you hold shift and this one will pop up if you can see it. And if I turn it to two, now I can like pan things to the left and right, which this one is actually already panned a bit, which is what I was gonna do. Maybe I'll pan it a little bit or more. I like to have my hi-hats a little off center. Um, there's some other cool stuff in here, but I haven't explored it too much in depth. I just like that you can uh, pan things left and right for the mix, which is nice. Uh, okay, let's see. Hmm. Okay. Not like a traditional shaker pattern to go with a house track, but doing something a little bit different. We're already 25 minutes in, so I should probably move a little bit quicker with this. If you haven't seen my previous videos, I told myself that I would try to not add too much to the drums. Um, just try to get something down, and then move to like the bass line, because I was finding that if I add too much stuff in the drums, then I kind of run out of space to add the other three tracks. So I'm just gonna try to extend this into 8 bars. Normally is what I do. So right now we're just on a 1 bar loop, and I'm gonna extend this out to 8 by copying it. Ooh, what was that? Length. Oh, not going to do that. So copy this. Oh, first I'll do 4, see if I can add some variation to keep things interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. Not sure what it's gonna end up like, but let's just go with that. Eh, not the best, but let's see. Maybe it ends up working out with everything else in there. Um, let's see if I can add something else. What else was in here? You know, mm, sometimes I like to do this as well. Just add to these. Mm, okay. A little bit of reverb. Turn it down a bit. this one. Or where did I put these? It's here, right? I'll come back to the synth. I like it. I just want to figure out where it fits and after I add all the other sounds. Uh, so I'm going to move now to the bass line to see if I can add a nice bass line into this whole thing. Let's see. trying to add some final variation to this thing. But if I wasn't recording, I would spend like just an hour on the sub alone trying to figure out something to add some variation to the sub. But just to not go too crazy, I'm gonna make this just the one bar, and I'm just going to copy this over and try to add some variation through some of the controls, maybe add some automation to it to move it around a bit. So, okay, very basic baseline pattern in there. Maybe we can come back to this to also try to shape it a bit more, but I'll move on to the first synth to see what's happening here, or see what I can actually add to this. Just remind myself. Okay. Mm. sometimes my camera will go black because I have a little timer on in the background. If you ever used a DSLR camera to try to keep the live view on, it'll just go out after 30 minutes. Well, at least my DSLR does. So I have a little timer. The screen might go black just because it's taking a picture to kind of send a keep alive signal, so it doesn't fully go black the whole time. But yeah, I feel like I haven't talked in a while, but added this basic synth. We're at 48 minutes and I haven't even gotten to the last track yet. But so far, it's kind of like a chill electronic. I wouldn't even call it mouse music. It's just kind of some ambient electronic track so far. But I like it. It's relaxed. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm normally producing at like 130 BPM. I think the slowest track I've made so far is like 127, maybe. But it's nice to make something more relaxed and chill, especially if we're listening to the loop over and over again in this video. I think it's nice. So let me see. I'll leave this as is for now. Maybe once I add whatever I'm going to do with this one, I'll come back and kind of walk through and see if there's some other things I can add to the whole thing. So let's see. Remind myself what this sounds like. not feeling that. Just throwing some stuff out there, and none of this so far. Let me see if I can switch up the sound a little bit to see if it'll add something. Mm, hmm. A little too far down. Or maybe not. Mm. not fitting that synth in the way I want to if I didn't want to keep pushing this video. But I like how this turned out. Not mad at it. It's very chill, very mellow, very basic notes. I didn't do anything wildly exciting with these, but I like how it sounds. Not going too much over. Just see if I could just try to fit something else into this to maybe give the drums a bit more excitement. Okay, yeah, that was it. Oh, yeah, I'm already at 1 hour, 8 minutes, so I'm really pushing it. I think I spent way too much time on the drums, unfortunately. In my last video, I got through the drums quite quickly, and then I had time to kind of play with all the other tracks. Yeah, sometimes I'm pushing myself to work a little faster, which you don't do with, or I try not to do with my tracks that I produce to, put out on SoundCloud. But I do push myself a little bit just because I don't want these videos to go crazy long. Um, Otherwise, I could just sit here for like 5 hours and just play with all these until something sounds a bit more exciting. But yeah, that's what we made today. I am almost finished with my next track. So I will be back soon with a video just breaking that down to show what steps I went through to produce that one. And yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know, was that exciting? Do you like these type of videos? I really like them. I enjoy making these. I just have to sit here for an hour and play with this thing. And it's not a lot of editing that goes into the video. It's all straight through, no cuts, just you see literally everything that I walk through on this. And I quite like it. Again, if you want to see videos on how to use this, I'll drop some links into the description. I haven't been using a lot of YouTube lately. I've just been exploring this thing on my own, which I find really cool. So that list in the description. If you're not new to this channel, you've been here before, the links in the description are the same as the last one. I haven't added anything new, just because I've just been exploring this on my own lately. And yeah, again, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will be back soon with another video. Thanks for watching.